Have you actually looked into that mud before? Like actually
We
seen?
we looked at it today actually. We were talking about it at work, and I think we talked about it for like almost an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, was it just a slow day at work and you just needed something to talk about, or?
Well, I was doing something, and I quickly went and like I think I watched something on YouTube quickly, and the ad popped up, which sparked the conversation. And then we delved into it more because I couldn't remember that it was all um, mushrooms, basically, and so I had to look it up to continue the conversation and figure out exactly what it was made out of and all that kind of stuff.
So,
And yeah,
what
so
kind of
I mean,
mushrooms?
apparently not the illegal kind, allegedly, but who knows because it's based in the U.S.
Oh, is it? I wasn't sure if it was
Yeah.
like a Canadian thing from BC or something, or someone's like trying to.
Doesn't seem like it. But they have two things. They got a morning blend and a they call it a sleepy time blend. And it's various things from mushrooms to some sea salt to cinnamon and a couple of other things that what lion's mane. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe some sort of water plant. It looked like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I've heard of that before. I can't remember where I heard of lion's mane. That's a fungus, eh? Lion's mane fungus.
oh, really?
Yeah, you
Wow.
can get it as a powder and in a pill. Okay, it's for like memory. Apparently, it's to help with memory and stuff like that. And I think I heard there's a neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman, Dr. Andrew Huberman. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
He talks about the different things that he takes, and I think lion's mane might be one of them. Don't quote me, and I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Uh,
So their website says the lion's mane's good for cognition and focus. Let's see. The cinnamon helps with uh, where'd it go here? Biggest antioxidant. It's an antioxidant,
yeah,
and the curcumin, I don't know, is a turmeric and polyphenol, whatever that means. Antioxidant is the cinnamon. Sea salt for hydration. Keoko, which is looks like some sort of bean, helps with mood.
I don't think it's gonna help my mood.
Uh, there's a cordyceps which promotes natural energy and supports the body's adaptability to exercise-induced fatigue.
That would be nice. My legs are freaking done right now.
And then the beta glucans,
So,
which are your mushrooms.
so a whole bunch of stuff basically.
Yeah,
Cacao, lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, rhiza, cinnamon, turmeric, Himalayan salt. Did they actually get the salt from the Himalayas, or are they just like, hey, this is Walmart brand. We're just gonna
I
throw it
mean,
in.
it says it is. I don't think they'd lie about that kind of stuff. I mean, the California people take this stuff pretty seriously,
Really?
allegedly.
Allegedly, can or
Um,
cannot confirm. Can or cannot.
but their prices aren't horrible, to be completely honest. I mean, you get their morning blend or morning rituals, what stuff
Yeah.
is a $40 canister,
Okay.
and that comes to about a buck 33 to a buck 66 per serving.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're going to Timmy's every day, getting a medium coffee or a extra large, I mean, extra large is 239. So maybe, I don't know. It depends on how much you're drinking it, I guess. If you're having 3 cups a day, then maybe it's a little expensive.
So
Um,
$40. Let's see if I can pull this up.
$40 for 30 servings.
Um,
Now, I expect they are saying that it's a 6 ounce cup.
yeah.
just from the pictures they have on their site. But apparently it's 1/7 the caffeine of coffee.
You can take my
So you
caffeine
don't.
away from me too? Oh my god.
So I mean, so it's supposed to give you all the same benefits, but not any of the negative effects of coffee.
Right, right. I mean, I haven't looked into this one that much, but I mean, like, take $40 for your morning ritual starter or whatever, right? For this mud stuff. And then on top of that, like, say you have like a greens substitute that you take, like, to get more vitamins and stuff like that. So athletic greens or something like that. Athletic greens is $100 for 30 servings. American.
Yeah.
You're looking at $140 if you add this morning ritual on top of your athletic greens, and then if you take more supplements, right? Like, I feel like it's one of those things. Like, there's just so much information that it's hard to figure out what is the best to take because of how much every one of them costs.
Oh, I'm sure. But if you take out your coffee, like, I don't know what do you buying right now for coffee? You buying Black Rifle, or are you grabbing Folgers from the superstore?
Every once in a while I'll buy Black Rifle. Maybe I'll buy 5 bags of that. That's $100, and that'll last me. That'll last me probably about 2 months or something like that.
So I mean, right there, you're saving $20.
Yeah.
If you're having 1 cup a day, which I don't know how much
No, I'm drinking
coffee
more
you're drinking.
coffee a day, so that's why it's costing me more. If I had 1 cup of coffee a day, my coffee would probably get me through 6 months or something like that. But I also have other things, right? Like, I go to Costco and I get the Kirkland brand beans, which are roasted by Starbucks. They're just put into a Kirkland bag, and their house blend is like a kilogram bag, so 2 pounds for $14, $15, and that'll get me through 2 months easily. So in that regard, yeah, it's a lot cheaper for me to go out and buy the coffee. If I was going to Tim Hortons and Starbucks every day, yeah, I can understand that this morning ritual would probably do me a lot better than what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy my morning coffee, right? It's like ritualistic, huh? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't drink coffee myself. I drink my tea. That's usually where I go. So I don't know. The caffeine doesn't tend to affect me anyways. Like, I'll have a 20-ounce mug of tea 5 minutes before I go to bed, kind of thing, right? So it doesn't really do anything to me.
I am hit and miss. Like, I did shift work for so long when I first got in the military that it was kind of like that first bit where I was doing 12 on, 12 off. I could do a coffee any time of the day at that point, and it was like, no, I'm okay to go. I can go to sleep now, even if I've just had a coffee. And then I go, and it comes and goes in flux. Like, some months it'll be like, oh yeah, you can't have a coffee right now. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or it's like even like 11 o'clock in the morning. It's like, yeah, if you have a coffee now, you're not going to sleep. So I don't even know. It's not like my body is like so out of tune when it comes to coffee. I'm like so in between that I don't know a lot of the times. Like, so, yeah, the mud thing is interesting, that's for sure, but I don't know.
I might try it.
Why not?
You know what? I might split the cost with a buddy at work, and I'll just leave it at work for that month, and then see where it goes. If he that way, it's half the price, and we share it, and we see what it's like for the month, and then we can make our own decision.
Doesn't it have its own like mixing spoon or something like that? So too, like,
well, the starter kit
the
there
frother
comes with the frother, which I guess mixes it all properly for you.
I mean, it all depends on what you want to get out of your morning drink, right? And what you're thinking about getting out of your morning drink.
Yeah.
For me, mine is more of a that's my kind of like relaxation morning thing, like where I sit back and relax and have my tea, and I like I like my warm drinks. I don't have an in between. You know, like people are like, some people can be like, I can drink something that's really cold and I'm okay, and I can drink something that's lukewarm, and I can drink something that's really hot and I'm okay. I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that's like, it's either got to be frigid or hot, and if it's lukewarm or in between, I'm not enjoying it at that point. So for me, it was like, okay, am I going to throw ice in with this? Is it going to froth up? Let's say, like even my greens and my creatine, instead of using like a shaker ball to mix them up, I use ice cubes. That's how I like my drinks, like cold, really, really cold, right? But I would be interested to see like what comes out of it, and how much you actually like it, or if you do like it. I tried Athletic Greens for 2 months, and then I switched to a cheaper greens, a BioSteel greens, which is about $40 for a month Canadian, $40 Canadian for the month. So that's quite the difference, right? $100 US versus $40 Canadian.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You can tell the difference in the taste. You can tell the difference in the way it mixes, the way the Athletic Greens actually mixes up really, really well. You don't get as bad of a grit at the bottom. Whereas the BioSteel greens, you can like, it's like I gotta shake it all the way through. Like as I'm drinking it, I have to shake it again, and because if I don't, then it doesn't mix up at all, and then even then it doesn't work, and I've got like chunks at the bottom of, oh my god, this is just so. But I mean, that's to save $60, right? Like, I mean, or more than $60, about 75, I think, after shipping and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, that's true too. You got to take that into account.
There's so many different products that offer or say they offer the same amount. I'm just not sure whether or not which one's the right one, which one's the wrong one. I even have that problem with like creatine. Like people are just like, just take creatine. It doesn't matter, just take it. And then you go into the store and you're like, well, which creatine you want me to take? Like there's so many different ones. So I got this one, the one I'm taking right now. It's just, I took a random one. I was like, okay, I'll give this a go. It's just creatine, but it mixes sour. Like, the taste is just, it's completely and utterly sour. So, it's quite a different flavor. So I put it underneath my greens and I put the greens on top so I don't get the sour taste anymore. But, so this is week 9, episode 9, but technically not week 9.
Well, yeah, we had some technical issues.
Yeah, so we did record episodes 9 and 10, which we're gonna be back-to-back episodes with a couple of guests that we had on discussing gaming in general, females in gaming, women in gaming, and how that worked. And we got through and got to the editing phase and just found out that all the sound was doubled. So
yeah,
we'll revisit that concept in a later episode. You've been on vacation for 2 out of the past 3 weeks, I think.
I mean, if we really look at this, out of the last 3 weeks, I was on vacation at a cottage for 1 week, came back, went back to work for 1 day, then had the rest of the week off with COVID, went back to work the following week, and then was off for another week at another cottage for some more relaxing family time.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I was not here either. I mean, we were finishing up summer. We basically went to the in-laws for 4 days, came back, and then I took the kids camping, and then the kids started school on Tuesday. So it's been a busy 4 weeks. I was really hoping that I'd have the time to edit those videos and get them going. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it sucks that you got COVID, dude. Like, how did you? That was your first bout of COVID, though, right?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to be COVID free for since the beginning. It it was very draining, and my only issue was the standard respiratory stuff. My I just had it was very hard to breathe, so I had to take decongestants to help with that, and stuff that I've never heard of before. Maybe it's an old cold medication or whatnot. But yeah, it was weird. It was recommended by a friend in the U.S. that does a lot of pharmacology stuff at a hospital. So yeah, I used that and stuff helped.
Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No, not for me. Like I said, it was just I was tired a lot and had the respiratory issue. But as soon as I was taking the medication, it helped out a lot. So
How'd the family come
I
out?
well, I mean, Riker's the my son was the first one to test positive, and that was quickly followed by my wife and then my daughter, and it took me 5 more days to test positive after they did.
And you're saying your dad tested like 7 days later or something like that, tested positive?
Yeah, so he tested positive. He started feeling symptoms on the uh, Tuesday after me. So my Riker was Thursday. My wife and my daughter was Friday. Uh, I was Tuesday, and then apparently my dad was Monday. He was the day before, but I didn't find out till Tuesday. And then my mom also tested positive as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family. We got it back about March. We got it back in March, and basically we woke up and uh, my wife wasn't feeling good. Um, she just kind of started with like a fever and not feeling good. And then my mother, we came home. I think we were out. I can't remember what we were doing. And then we came home, and then my mother-in-law got it because she was up watching the kids for us. And then after my mother-in-law got it, the next day, my oldest and my middle child tested positive. My son slept side by side, face to face, with my youngest child. They had a sleepover in his room, and he did not test positive at all. He didn't
Wow.
get COVID at all. He had nothing. But my kids, my oldest and my youngest, they coughed for a day, and then they were done.
Yeah, I mean, both the kids bounced back pretty quick after they tested positive. Like before we even got home, they were racing around, out tubing and having fun again.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? I mean, with me, I think I was okay. I could still walk around. I could still make dinner and make lunch and have no problems. I was tired, but my wife and my mother-in-law were both down hard for 3 days, and it
Oh,
took
wow.
took Ash about a month and a half actually to fully recover from how worn out she was feeling and how things were going for her. So like it hit them pretty hard. But I mean, that was like when Delta and Omicron were still kind of phasing each other out.
Yeah.
So we don't know which one they got. We have no idea. I don't even know what they're at now for their new COVID
Well,
stuff.
I don't know if you heard today, but apparently it no longer matters in Ontario.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
They
that.
lifted everything, or they're about to lift everything. So even if you have COVID, you can go to work.
Yeah,
There's no more isolation.
no more 5 days
Uh,
isolation. Nothing. Yeah.
yeah. So, I
Did you?
mean, obviously they're recommending you stay home if you're not feeling well, but ultimately the any of the restrictions are now over here in Ontario.
Did you see that Australia? I think it's Australia got hit really hard this flu season. They're right in the middle of their winter, and they got hit like smacked in the face with the flu. Like they went from like uh, having like no COVID, like getting their COVID done, and then the flu season came in, and the flu season apparently hit them really hard because the body was fighting something else and hadn't fought the flu off in a while, and yeah, so apparently they're struggling through their flu season right now. So I was surprised to
Well,
hear that.
that's going to be interesting because I mean we're coming up on ours in the next 3 weeks, right? Like all the kids are going back to school now. Temperatures are nice right now, but it's going to start to cool off at night, and I think we'll see. Probably by the end of September, we'll start to be really into our cold and flu season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up being a really bad flu season this year for everybody. It was I was at the point I was like, maybe this year I'll get the flu shot. Normally I don't. Normally I just let my body just kind of absorb it and and see what ends up happening. I mean, I haven't had a really bad flu in a long time. Like I think
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I think the last flu I had that was really bad where I was hallucinating. I think I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. And my fever was so bad and my head was like pounding that I thought my hands were giant. Like that's kind of like what I was losing. I think I was sleeping in my grandmother's basement. And I was thinking, I was like, wow, my hands are really big. I could pick up that TV with these giant hands and throw it down the hall. That's how big my hands are.
Oh, wow.
I was out to lunch with my thinking. But that was the last time I had like a really bad flu. Like, I can't remember having one that was bad at all since then. So it was kind of interesting to see that. So I was like, maybe I'm not big on getting the flu shot. Like, mind you, the military made me get the flu shot before I went anywhere anyways, right? So who knows? But yeah, we've had quite the break here from doing this because of the sickness and the vacation and stuff like that. And I was really looking forward to getting back into recording and getting us back into more consistent recording, right? Like it's fun to do. Some things that we've missed in the last while, and my fun, or at least the one that I liked the best after looking through this, was the you linked a new 165-inch folding TV. That was just amazing. $400,000, eh?
I mean, if you got some change rolling around in your back pocket there, right?
Right. Just
Start checking the couch for any fallen change. You just whip out 400 grand for that.
Yeah, I got that. No problems. I can bring that. But what the heck? It kind of reminds me. There was a movie, and the TV screens are following the guy as he's walking down the hallway. I can't remember. It kind of like thinks like that. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll just give you that. It's a micro LED HD TV that folds out of the floor. So not only is it a 165-inch TV, you press a button and you're like, want to see my secret password to my TV? Like 400,000.
Yeah,
That's just ridiculous.
I mean, I could buy a home or I could buy a TV.
Yeah, what who's gonna be using
what are you
this?
gonna do? I don't know who's gonna waste 400,000 on a TV. I mean,
Somebody who's got
Jeff
400,000
Bezos,
waste. Yeah.
Elon Musk, Zuckerberg.
I mean, you see the
There's
house that
the
it's
three
in,
people
right?
that could afford it. Sorry.
You see the house that it's in, right?
I didn't see the whole house, but I mean, if it's coming out of the floor like that, I mean,
it's got the view of the ocean, seating that's uncomfortable, so it has to be rich seating, like, and then it just folds out. I'd be really pissed if you could see a seam.
well, I mean, my guess is you don't anymore, right? Because Samsung's got that fold phone now, right? There's no seam. It's like a almost like a, it's not liquid glass, but it's you fold your phone and it's a glass covering. So, I mean, if you could do it in your cell phone, why not do it on the TV front?
Yeah, but weren't they having problems with those cell phones that the crease was starting to show?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but
Yeah, but
I
this
don't know.
one's not like folding, right? Because this one, if you actually look at the, it's totally mechanical on the inside. Like
Is
it,
it?
yeah, it doesn't.
Let me
The
bring it up
screen
here.
isn't connected. So that's what kind of what I'm wondering why. A conversation piece for impressing tuxedoed guests. Yeah, well, no. I mean, this is obviously not for the regular person in their household. I mean, maybe someday and some future time where $400,000 is actually nothing. Sure,
Yeah.
be interesting to see. But that's pretty funny. I mean, I think it would be interesting to be like, yeah, hold on a second, I'll get my TV. We watched Super Bowl. Hold on a minute, just gonna press
Hey
this button.
Alexa, bring the TV out of the floor, please. Like,
Right? Oh man.
uh,
Oh, I even like how he's no Bond villain would be caught dead or resurrected without at least a few of these modern conveniences in their cozy evil compound. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
this video almost looks like it's CGI, to be honest.
I think it is CGI'd, man. I think this is just something like there's no way
You know,
that is
it's
real.
probably a concept. Like it's nobody's. This isn't actually in existence. It's just a concept television that um that somebody's trying to propose and say yes, we could do this, but whether you can actually purchase it, there's probably a one. There's this probably a one of a kind. They only made it one, and that was it.
I don't know if they even made it. Like it doesn't look like they made it. I think you're right. I
There's a
think it
website listed there.
is there.
Where to go? CC'd?
Australian
Oh,
CC. Oh no, it's 165, 137 inch, 100 and 100-inch TVs. But those aren't real renders. Like those
yeah.
are they got to be like oh, I would like to see it actual. There's a reason why you can't see it actual. No one's ordered one yet.
Right, exactly. And who's going to?
I don't know. I don't even want to know. Oh great. Now I'm going to get friggin' TV ads for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
To be like, "Oh, by the way, I have to admit it's an impressive idea, but I mean, I don't need a 165-inch TV. I mean,
No, I mean I've got a nice 65 on the wall now that I'm quite happy with.
hey, you end up buying a C1, eh?
Yeah, yeah, I'm quite impressed with it actually.
Yeah, it's a nice little TV.
Yeah, little. I mean,
Well, 65 inches compared to
yeah.
165-inch, man. Your TV is
Okay.
bottom shelf. You just
I'll have to wait till the kids are moved out anyways for that one.
yeah, just mortgage your house and move into a cardboard box with your 665-inch TV. It'll keep you warm in the winter, I'm betting.
I'm sure.
Oh man. Um, other things that came up. Rockstars posting jobs.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it looks like GTA 6 is on the way.
you guys gonna move your RP to GTA 6 if it comes out?
I mean, it's not a simple endeavor just to switch things over. Because it'll be actually similar to what we had to do with the Wild West side with Red M RP. Um, because nobody had done anything with that game. So our community was one of the first to create the you or utilize the Red M on Red Dead. So um, yeah, finding all the assets and everything was a huge pain. It took forever to find stuff. There's stuff that we still don't even know about it, and it'll be years. I mean, the GTA 5 RP stuff. The game came out in what 2009. Like they've been playing it for it's a 13-year-old game.
Yeah.
So they've had plenty of time to find all the assets and all the items in game and stuff that you can use and whatnot. But it would be early days usage, depending on how Rockstar plays it. I mean, personally, if they were smart, they'd kind of release all this kind of information because the RP community is what's kept GTA 5 alive for 13 years. I mean, who'd be still playing GTA 5 if there wasn't a huge RP community?
Um, who would be playing WoW?
Well, WoW's a different beast. WoW is a different beast. To be fair, I don't know why people are still playing WoW.
Oh, there's
It
an
was all
enjoyment.
right. It was all right for the 3 months that I did play it. And I did play relatively religiously in that 3 months, but once that 3 months was up and it came time to resubscribe for a fourth month, I was like, I don't know.
Am I really getting
So,
everything out of this?
yeah.
It is interesting that people are still playing GTA 5 13 years later. I mean, I've watched a couple of the metal videos you've thrown out there, and I'm just like, I just can't. Like, the graphics are. I mean, I do play WoW on and off, so I shouldn't be talking about how graphics look. So, but
Well, to be fair, looking at my graphics is very different from looking at some other people's graphics. There's people out there that it looks hyper realistic. You can find YouTube videos out there of people getting on servers and doing stuff, and you have a hard time. Maybe not real life, but it is sometimes very close. Where you might see a car driving through the city, and you're like, "Is that New York or LA?" Kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's the graphics could be better. I just dumb it down for my machine.
your machine's not that bad now. I mean, maybe a
Well,
while
that's
ago.
true too. I'm not, but I'm not playing. I'm not exactly playing 4K either right now. So
No. I started playing Mafia. Well, now probably 4 weeks ago, I started playing Mafia, and I haven't touched it since. And I'm surprised that they didn't really put out a multiplayer version of that, so that you could do the same thing and have like an RP server or whatever, a modded community come up. Because I don't know, I'm just maybe a fan of that era. I just not a. It's just an interesting point in history that I
but
think will
that was all. When was that? That was like the
30s. Yeah,
yeah. So like the Prohibition era type stuff.
Prohibition era, well, obviously mobsters and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of thing has always interested me. I mean, I've always enjoyed. I mean, way back when, uh, it's been years now. Back in when I first started going to college, I had a mod for Half Life that was Half Life Mobsters, and I wanted to make like this a multiplayer game that revolved around that. So I've always had an interest in the era. I like the architecture from the era, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm surprised that they haven't thought of doing a multiplayer version of that and maybe keep trying to keep that game alive the same way.
Yeah, I don't. The only I don't see anything. Not even any like conversation about it.
No, I don't think there's anything. They're not talking about it. They're not. I don't think as many people enjoy the game as much as I do. So or the era. So there's not a whole lot of um, yeah. There's not a whole lot of talk about it coming through. But it's interesting that GTA 6 will be around the corner, though. I mean, I'm surprised with that it's been 13 years since they've released GTA 5. That like update your games, man. Like
Mhm.
I'm surprised that they haven't put out 6 earlier. I mean, they were working on other stuff as well, right? Like Red Dead
Yeah.
2 and
Well, they've had a bunch. I mean, they had didn't they have a Mafia release recently too? And then
um,
they've had the Bully games, and they've had a few games that they've released. I mean, they're not huge like GTA was for them, but I think they're side pieces.
I think they re-released Mafia with the definitive editions for the reskin. And then Red Dead 2 came out, but I'm not sure. Was there like another big Rockstars game?
Well, they also did the online version, so you don't get any of the storyline, but you only get uh, the online play
Yeah.
for Red Dead. Um, but
Oh yeah, there is
I
Grand
don't know
Theft
what else
Auto
they've done.
Online.
they've been towing a line, a very short line, I think. Uh,
Well, Red Dead
but
2 was released in 2018, so I know it doesn't seem that long ago, but that is when it came out. Like I always thought, for some reason, I thought it was less time than that. Maybe the last 2 years have been so blank, right?
I guess, I mean, that's like what, 5 years ago, so.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while. So the fact they haven't released a game in between then, or anything that's really been that noticeable, is a little bit of a surprise. But, oh, they did Max Payne as well. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
I actually played through Max Payne way back when on DVDs, CDs. I want to say that was a fun game. At least I enjoyed it. But that's just me.
Yeah, I never played any of them.
Oh no. Well, now they probably wouldn't be nearly as good as they were back then. But I don't know what else interesting happened in the last 2 weeks or the last 4 weeks.
Well, there's that. I guess I don't know if you've heard of that Darkest Dungeon game on Steam. Basically, you just keep going into these dungeons and fighting whatever you find in there until your people kind of go insane, and then you have to switch them out for people that aren't, and you just keep going in and clearing dungeons and getting loot. I guess they made a board game version of it,
Really?
and but it's being withheld because shipping is now more expensive, so they're
Right.
not releasing any of the copies to the people that paid for them. Um, I guess because they're suggesting that these people need to pay more money now to actually get it shipped.
What? How heavy is this box that's costing $18 to think the
Uh,
Kickstarter comments? We've already paid for shipping, and since then we've come to an agreement, and now you are daylight robbing us for more money, one backer wrote. Think this is called extortion.
Pretty much. I mean, but you look at this and people are still buying into these Kickstarters and stuff like that, right? I mean, we've talked about Star Citizen before and where it is and where it was supposed to be in 2013, and now it's almost 10 years later and it's we still don't have anything, or we don't have a completed game. And now other game companies are trying to get in on the Kickstarter stuff, and now they're not releasing stuff because stuff is too expensive. I mean, that's who if you keep having this kind of bad press, who's gonna help out on these Kickstarters?
My real question is, how much did they end up? Like they ended up making 5.6 million in total, which
In
is
their first day, they made 1 million, and then
yeah,
the total was 5.6.
and they only wanted 300,000. So how can they say that their shipping has gone up? That like how much?
Well, yeah, but who even cares? Like if they're making 5.6 and they were going to be able to ship it all at 300,000, who cares if the shipping went up? I mean, you should still be making more than what you planned, right?
I mean, when you put it to Kickstarter, you should be factoring in for a little bit of profit. That's what these companies go out for. If people think they're going out for you and me, that definitely not where they're at. But it is interesting that they were asking for more money. I mean, I think like I understand that Kickstarter isn't a store. Like what I think they said that somewhere in there.
Hmm.
You get that Kickstarter's not a store. If you priced it poorly and you end up in the negatives after you ship, how is that the person who bought the Kickstarter's fault?
Exactly. You can't turn around and go back on them for money for that. That's
No,
insane.
that is yeah. That's I wonder if it says something within the Kickstarter rules or something like that. Because realistically, if they don't deliver the game, then they have to give all the money back, right? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that part of being on Kickstarter?
That's what I thought. I thought it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, shipments are being organized into two waves. Wave one, including English only, and then wave two will include remaining English add-ons and all non-English versions of the game. They haven't even printed the games.
So I guess Mythic said that they'll pay for half the shortfall, but they're saying that another $875,000 needs to come from the backers to cover the rest. So it's about $29 a person. Or
Okay.
sorry, no, you said $18. Yeah, yeah, it does say $18.
Yeah, this is Kickstarter's. Kickstarter's policies. Backers must understand that Kickstarter is not a store. When you back a project on Kickstarter, you're helping create something new, not pre-ordering something that already exists. As Kickstarter does not offer refunds, we encourage backers to investigate the project idea first, to vet the creator thoroughly, and to assess the inherent risk of the project for themselves before making a pledge. I mean, I can understand that being the policy. Like it's a risk
Well, that
reward.
way they don't get held. Kickstarter themselves don't get held responsible for some failure, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that just kind of like they just kind of be like, we just host this shit. If you back it, it's not. We're not part of that. We're not part of the what ends up happening with whatever you end up buying, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
So I mean, somebody walks off with your millions, then it is what it is.
it's just one of those things where like you're not backing a Kickstarter if you don't have the money to. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
if the what is it was like $29 or something like that for the game, or I can't.
Oh, I bet it was
Uh,
way more than that.
or where is it?
I
Oh,
think
sorry,
it
I just
said the
saw
expansions were one of the expansions was $29.
Dungeon Pledge is $18. Crimson Pledge 26. A couple other. Either way, okay.
Oh wow, that's pretty cheap. Like I've seen people putting out board games and stuff like that on Kickstarter, and the initial Kickstarter cost pledges, I guess is what they call them, was like $100.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if how this is supposed to work. This whole thing that they've said here. I'm not sure if that is what people were playing was the ancestral pledge, but either way, okay. You're backing Kickstarter. You're doing it because you think it's a good idea and you've got $30, right? If you don't have the $30, why are you backing the program?
Yeah.
Like, I get some people really, really, really love stuff and all that kind of thing, right? Like, but that's just my thought of it. Like, if you have $30 and you see a Kickstarter pledge and you're like, oh, that seems really
Oh,
interesting.
okay. So that's not the cost.
Oh no, okay.
So I actually pulled up the Kickstarter,
Oh, is it still up?
and you can do so when it was live. You can. I think every Kickstarter you can pledge $1, and that just means you're supporting the project, but you're not getting anything out of it other than supporting them.
Okay.
And then the next level is $100 for the core box. The core box unlocked stretch goals and a free Musketeer mini
Okay.
for $100. So the base game basically $100, and then the next one is 150, and you get a couple of more stretch goals, and then the next one is 330, and
Okay.
that's to get everything that they were going to put together. Um, Now they have a total of 10,757 backers
At $330.
at $330. Can
Okay.
you imagine? That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Some 10,000, almost 11,000 people just happen to have $330 sitting burning a hole in their wallet, and they said, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, and like even the $150 and the $100,
Yeah,
like
another 8,500 and what,
another 6,000.
6,000?
So
Jeez.
the majority of the people that are backing this have 100 are put $150 US or more into the game.
Yeah.
The majority
Oh,
of them.
even 3,200 gave $1
Yeah.
just for backing them. 3,200 more people.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's good. That's
that's
great.
fantastic.
But for these people that are complaining that they got to pay $18 more for shipping after you pledged $100 to the game, I mean,
Well, yeah.
I understand that there's risks and there's like, but I mean, if unless you do your research before pledging, which I'm sure if it does, if you do hit pledge, it tells you it's non-refundable. would make sense, right? Like as soon as you hit pledge, it's going to tell you this is a non-refundable
Yeah,
game.
I'm sure it does.
It's you got to know going in that, okay, it's non-refundable, and it could end up being that I don't get what I wanted, because whether or not they get the amount of money they need to make it worth, to make it a worthwhile project. Like this is their hope for the project, right? Their hope for the project is that they've got all this stuff up. Well, if you have $100, what's $18 more? No offense. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
But
Right. But I think the assumption is that it was going to be able to be shipped.
yeah.
And I think that's probably where people are upset. Okay, you told me you'd be able to ship it for the $330 that I sent you, and now you're telling me you can't ship it, or you're refusing to ship it.
I think refusing is a bad. They probably used the wrong words.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, maybe they should. Okay, look, guys, we. I mean, and at what point when you started printing the game, did you realize, shit, shipping's going to cost us a bit more. We're going to eat into our profit margin. Are we going to be negative money, or are we going to be like, I don't know. It's one of those. Oh, here risks.
Yeah, I just clicked on that myself.
Shipping. I wonder if it's changed though. Like since they said.
Yeah, when was it edited?
Yeah, when was it edited? Like when did they update this? Learn about accountability on Kickstarter. Once we've well, wait a second. Refunds. We have a no questions asked refund policy. All pledges can be refunded in full up to 14 days after the end of the Kickstarter campaign. Okay, well that's not.
Oh, right, but they probably didn't announce that they weren't doing it for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's see here. Shipping. By pledging to this project, you acknowledge that the final look, materials, and content of the rewards and the project are subject to change and may differ substantially from what is presented. If you do not finalize your pledge for the shipping closing date, I mean, it doesn't really say anything about it other than refund. At our discretion, refund or ship your pledge if you contact us and confirm the pledge after the pledge manager is closed. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And is Mythic Games is just a fundraiser, right? They're not anybody big.
Oh yeah, Mythic Games. That's a development company.
Okay.
They're the people that developed
Magic or whatever,
the
right?
actual game. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, like, that's one of those things where you need to just bite the bullet for your customers and be like, I mean, unless they're like so far into it that they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to shut down the company unless we, if we do ship all, how many thousand games did they end up having? 30,000 games almost? No, not quite 30,000, but pretty close.
Yeah.
And if we do end up shipping these 29,000 games for an extra $18, our company's going to go in the hole. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those slippery slopes, right? It's probably why I don't do the Kickstarter thing. It's probably why I don't get involved in that.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I've come really close, but since Star Citizen, I haven't done another Kickstarter.
Star Citizen kind of broke it for me too, man. I have to admit.
Yeah. What else? Oh, well, there was that bad news there.
Oh yeah, that's sad. Sad to hear.
Nichelle Nichols died at age 89.
Yeah.
I mean, she was an icon for a lot of people.
Yeah, she broke, like it says, broke black barriers for black women in Hollywood. She was one of the first people to be on TV that way. Like, Like it's kind of
Yeah.
it's interesting how her role and what ended up happening with this. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. She was also actually I don't know if you know, she was the first interracial kiss on screen.
Really.
Yeah, her and um oh my God, Patrick Stewart. His name is escaping me for some reason. Um Kirk, whoever played Kirk there.
Shatner.
Shatner.
Wow,
Jeez.
bud.
Wow. Yeah, her and Shatner first interracial kiss
Oh shit! Yeah, there it
on
is.
TV. Yep.
I didn't know that.
And what's worse is they were forced to do it by this godlike character that they were dealing with in the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they yeah, it was a pretty interesting episode.
I didn't realize that they had kissed. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of the original series, so like I watched the movies, but I did not watch
Hmm.
a whole lot of the original show.
I mean, the updated version of it kind of holds up. Because they redid everything, updated the graphics for like out of the ships and stuff like that. Um, so they didn't do too bad with the re-imaging of the show. Um, but it was some of the episodes are a little aged.
Yeah, yeah, no,
They well, I mean, the subject matter was very much of their times, right? Like people were afraid of communism back then. So you have episodes where there's a communist style government, but then if you think about it, Starfleet or the Federation was kind of a communist place, right? Like everybody shared everything. Everybody did stuff for the betterment of man, not an individual. There wasn't capitalism anymore. There were like all that kind of stuff, right? So it was kind of it's kind of interesting to have the anti-communist sentiment along with this communist utopia
It-
that the Federation became.
maybe that's why all the red shirts died first. Maybe it's just like one of those things. Roddenberry just kind of he worked into it and didn't really say anything about it. It's just been like, yeah, the red shirts die first for a reason. We're just not going to talk about it though. We don't want you guys to know that that's what's happening. But yeah, it's kind of funny how Star Trek is kind of that utopian society that we reach through. Basically, like it's basically like a Marxist utopian society where everything's for the betterment of everybody else, and you no longer have money and stuff. I mean, and then if you think about it too, and then you're like the Ferengi being very much about business and trade and all that kind of stuff, and it's
Which
just
is fun because there is money still in the universe. Like the whole DS9 series, they had the Gold Press Platinum is their big, I don't know, money stuff there. But that they still had that in like the original series where there was actual money that was exchanged. It just I guess in the Federation you didn't need it.
huh.
Um, I don't know. I don't really understand how you trade goods. Like if I'm on if I want something like a bottle of wine, but I want a real one, do I just walk up to the vineyard and be like, I'm taking this bottle, or how does that work exactly? Do I have to trade for it? Do I have to give something? I don't know.
I think that's kind of interesting, right? Because when you think about Star Trek: The Next Generation, when Picard goes back to France and his brother still owns a vineyard, what's he trading for? Like, you are the only person left in the world that makes like something for
Yeah.
like you just give bottles away. You do like I think that's like one of the pills that a lot of people have swallowing about uh, the whole communist thing is I do everything for the betterment and I'm giving away all my hard work for free. What like just doesn't
Yeah. Like I just with I mean you have replicators, so anything that you need, you just replicate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I need steel beams to build this building. Well, we'll just get an industrial replicator in here and make you some steel beams. Well, great. But what is who owns the land that you're building that building on, and how do they own it, and does how does that all work? Like, I think there was still a lot of questions that just kind of you have to not ask to make Star Trek a feasible
It's just like any
community.
fantasy story where you're kind of wondering, like, it's just like any fantasy book. Be like, none of these people went to the washroom ever. Like, I mean, Star Trek kind of hints on showers in the future.
Yeah,
Never hints
yeah.
on going to the washroom ever. It's like, so if you're just eating for supplementation, does that mean you know, like, what happens here and where does it go? This is one of those questions I know my son would just love to just go over and over with and talk about. But yeah, it's pretty sad that I mean, 89 still a very good life, and she inspired quite a few people along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And will be talked about for many years to come in many different settings, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, I don't think there's much to really to catch up on. Like we've basically just gone through everything that we had been talked or we're going to talk about going through, and it is sad that we lost those 2 episodes because I think they were actually really good. Like, we had a really good time.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to when we get to do it again. It'll be fun.
yeah. Hopefully, we can wrangle that in pretty soon.
Yeah, it would be good. But yeah, I'll enjoy. Are you guys doing anything for the long weekend here?
God, I hope not.
You're done,
I
eh?
just wanna, yeah, this weekend just vegetate at home. I hope.
Yeah, no, I don't know what we're doing. I think we're getting together with friends on Sunday, but actually, one last piece. We bought a new trailer. I bought a new trailer yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I went bought a 22-foot trailer, so that we can go a little bit further, a little bit longer with I can go with the kids a little further and longer camping trips and stuff like that. So, like, oh man, I can't wait. It was actually really funny because my youngest, when they didn't know that I was going to buy it, right? They just thought I was going to an appointment. And I brought it home. They didn't see it until after dinner. My youngest comes out, and she was in tears. She was so happy. And she was just like, "We got a bigger trailer." I was like, "Yes, sweetheart. That's what we got, a bigger trailer so we can travel." I couldn't believe it. It was so cute. But that now we're gonna be able to go a little bit further, a little bit longer. That's my hope. I want to go a little further north, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to take the kids to like Lake Superior and Thunder Bay and all those kind of fun things. So we're thinking about doing a trip to PEI next year and swim in the ocean and do all that fun stuff that kids are really interested in. So
That's a long drive.
it is a long drive. It'll be fun though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It would be a great experience for the kids.
That's the hope. Well, dude, I'll catch you later. Guys, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you in our next episode. Thanks for joining us for episode 9. Yeah, have a good weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Peace.